Hey, this is Monday, October 26th, my regular class. We're going to be going over some things. They can't see you, even though you're waving. You're just waving to me, although it is adorable, but they can feel it in their hearts. Don't worry, Max. All of their hearts just got bigger, and they're like, I feel there's a child somewhere who loves me. So way to bond on that one. We're going to be talking about your quiz, plus a new little bonus thing I threw in there. And we are now done with short stories, kind of. Yeah. Settle down, Tigers. We're not done learning. We're just changing to a different thing. It's not like we're going to commit to being idiots for the rest of the year. And you're like, Mr. Broviak, I already started. It's not the way it works. We're going to be learning other things. We're just moving on from short stories. But what's that? Charge you points for talking while I am. I could, but I wasn't going to yet. That's fired. For those of you who still have the handout we use for short stories, where you had to do like the exposition and the depth, don't get rid of that. For those of you who are living people, don't get rid of that, because this is still going to be on quizzes moving forward. I'm still asking you questions about irony and foreshadowing and exposition and stuff like that. If you have this piece of paper, you get to use it on the quizzes. If you got rid of piece of paper, you are what scientists call hosed. You're going to be completely out of luck when you go, Mr. Broviak, what's foreshadowing? And I'll go, it's on your paper. And you go, I threw that away. And I go, oh, sucks to be. So don't do that. Hold on to it. Make your life easier. All right. But just wanted to let you know about that one. Then, let's see. For those of you who are living children, grades and B points are updated over yonder. For those of you who are make-believe children, the online ones, they're also updated for you. You just can't see the actual paper. You're just gonna have to go to Skyward or something like that. But I figured I'd let you guys know. Ooh, speaking of letting you guys know, real quick. Thank you, sir. I have also kids who are missing work. So let's go through real quick. Those of you I get to torture who are missing things. The good news is I'm not making you stand today. This is the first day back from break, and even I'm not that mean. If I made you stand, that'd probably make me like a math teacher, and I'm not ready to do that yet. But I will go through and tell you if you're missing a thing or not. So as of now, so Leah, I am missing the quiz we're getting ready to talk about and the IXL. Jeriel, the IXL. Wyatt, IXL. Kate, IXL. Jermaine, IXL. Tamara, IXL. Emmeline, the IXL. And Paget, the quiz and the IXL. Ethan, the IXL. Owen, the IXL. And the other kids are skipping class. Now with that one, if you did the IXL, make sure you email me. Ethan, you did email me, and I emailed you back because you were missing your name on it, just so that you're aware of that one. The others of you, the next time I see you, I do get to torture you. So if you're still missing it come Wednesday, I do get to be mean to you, just so you are aware that I'm giving you guys today as grace. If you are missing the quiz, you cannot get higher than a 22, because I'm getting ready to go over the answers with you and give you all the answers to it. If you were a kid who got lower than a 22, and there were a lot of you, you can turn it in again and get up to a 22 on it. So if you would like to fix it and resubmit it to make it so your parents stop yelling at you as much, you are welcome to do that. I have now activated it for a third attempt if you would like to fix it and turn it in. That is absolutely fine with me. All right, so we covered that. And for a second. There we go. That is the IXL to cover that one. We do have another IXL coming up this week. Bad news is we have IXL. Good news is it's a 5th grade IXL. So it should be an even easier one because it's going to connect to the things we're doing this week. And even better news is that most of you will probably get out of it, because if you pay attention this week, the quiz should not be super difficult. So there's a good chance most of you won't have to do it at all anyway. And then those of you who do, it shouldn't take you super long, because again, it's a 5th grade level one, because it's going to cover this information. Mr. Broviak, does that mean what you're teaching us is 5th grade stuff? No. What I'm teaching you is actually 3rd grade stuff. But apparently some of you guys are still going to struggle. So we're going to try not 3rd grade shame people, and we're going to try and still help you get there. For those of you who feel strong, in theory, it should be a little bit easier on you. Yes, Max, there is a quiz coming up on Thursday, Friday of this week. You are correct. Way to pick up on my slight little hints. Or maybe you looked at the calendar where you printed that thing from where it said in giant red letters, quiz on Thursday, Friday. Could be either one. All right, so here's what I want to do with you guys. Speedily, I want to run through our quiz answers from the previous quiz. I'm aware this quiz was from more than a day ago, so there's every chance your brains are not real strong. But here's the other thing I'm going to do with you, a new game I've added to the quiz. I have discovered that I can figure out what percentage of kids got a question right or wrong. So we're going to have you guys see if you can figure out how well kids did on the quiz questions. You're going to be telling me, you'll see in a moment. As an example, let me show you the first one. All right. First off, do you remember right before the quiz, we had the Priscilla thing? I read the story out loud to you. I said, let's do an experiment to see if me reading this story out loud to you improves grades or not. Here's my question to you. By thumbs up or thumbs down, do you think me reading it made grades go up or grades go down? Kids at home, same thing. Oh. And correct answer is, it did not help at all. So even though my experiment of reading a story to you, it did not seem to help kids do better. But you did get to listen to my melodic voice, which I'm assuming is your way of telling me that you don't get to hear my voice often enough. You're like, Mr. Broviak, I wish you would talk even more. Thanks, children. I'll do what I can for you. All right. So here's what I want to show you. As an example, so from the story you had to read, the necklace, which is the best example of irony showing up in the story. So I'll make the first one really easy for us. So let's see, hang on, what was the irony in that story? Wait, let's back up even farther than that. At the very end of the story, what do we find out about the necklace? It was fake. Who did it belong to? The rich one. Thank you. The rich one. So they're all a bunch of girls. So the rich friend ended up owning the fake necklace. So that was our bit of irony. The fact that the super rich friend had the super cheap necklace, whereas like the poor person had to have like the fancy necklace. On this one, here's my question to you. By thumbs up or thumbs down, let's say the average question was 90%. Do you think our overall 7th grade, when you guys took this one, did better than 90% or worse than 90% on this question? We're going to see from your thinking whether you think this was a tough question or not tough question. All right, so same thing at home. You guys are mostly saying you think we all did above 90%. All right, and the answer is 88%. You guys were really close on that one. So this was not bad. Now, here's the other thing I can show you. The highest and the lowest questions we did. The lowest percentage was I think 30%, where there was one question, only 30% of kids got right. Like 70% of the kids got this one question wrong. And we have one question, which I think was 90 something, 92. And so the best grade was a 92. So let's do this. Instead of 90%, let's put it at 80%. I think we struggled a little bit on this quiz. So the highest grade, the highest percentage we'll ever have is a 92% on one of the questions. The lowest we'll have is a 33% on one of the questions. So this one was apparently one of the easiest questions. All right, let's find out. Question 2. From the necklace, what would be the best theme for the story? Well, first off, what's the definition of theme? There you go. Thing we learn or moral of the story. And what is it that Mademoiselle should have learned in the story? There you go. The whole making sure you tell the truth and you don't lie and stuff like that. Or the other one where it's like, don't loudly yell the wrong answer and try to make the teacher grumpy so they'll end up charging you points. Could be either one. Who knows? And so I would agree. Always tell the truth about mistakes. So here, 80% is going to be our cutoff. You guys think we did better than 80% or worse than 80% on this one? All right. And you guys think about split. Let's go with 92%. This was almost the most, I almost used the phrase most easiest. Then I realized I'm an English teacher and I would be ashamed of myself. So instead I will say, this apparently was the most often correct question or the easiest question. Go you guys. 3, which of the following is not a true example of the plot? One of these is not a true example of the plot because it doesn't happen in the story. Not because it's a character, not because it's internal conflict. It's just one of these things never occurred at all. You know which one never occurred at all? Jeriel? Read. Mr. Loisel giving up. Does Mr. Loisel give up on his wife and leave her?
No.
I would agree. He should, but he never does, and he sticks with her all the way to the very end. And so now our 80%, you think we did better than 80 or worse than 80? Wow. So you guys think this was the tough question? So you're saying right at 80, Jermaine? Let's find out. And right, Jermaine, look at that, dunking it. So right at 80% on that one. Go you. And so apparently, Jermaine has entered a new option. If you think we're right at 80, now I'll give you all the way up to 81 and down to 79, and I'll still be impressed on that one. There you go, Jermaine. All right. 4. The very beginning of the story on the mountain. What is the very beginning of the story called? Exposition. So that describes Matilda and how she feels. An example of exposition. All right, 80%. Is this an easy question or a tough question? You guys are all and let's go with 80%. Oh, Jermaine, you could have done. So right at nicely done. So this was right at 80%. Question 5. Best point of view for the next. On this one, it was not first person, right? It was third person. So does it follow Mr. Loisel?
No.
All right. Does it follow Mrs. Forestier?
No.
Well, then what's the only answer left? So in theory, you should be going like, well, it's third person. Doesn't follow that person. It doesn't follow that person. Can't be that one. Can't be that one. So process of elimination, it has to be that one. All right. Easy. Hard. Right in the middle. All right. And you guys say, yeah. I did. I left the H off. How embarrassing. 87%. This is apparently one of the easier questions on there. Right? Go you guys. 6. Mrs. Forestier explains how the Juliet Matilda has been working years ago. What is the opposite of what she's expecting? That they had beat into you for a week? The answer would be. So in theory, you made that sound easy. Let's find out. Are you guys for 80%? Are we above it? Wow. You see that you guys came out with a 4. Why do you guys all say it was a tough one? All right. And apparently that was a tough question. 74%. That was one that people struggled on. Wow. I thought the same thing. You guys, as soon as I asked it out loud, you guys were like, I heard 80. You're like, but on the quiz, you're like, oh, yeah. Thinking is hard.
We're at home, we're not.
Oh, that's probably legit too. Work.
What?
Well, I can't just cuss. That'd be wrong. So I say it in this random gibberish because it makes me feel better.
Why can't you cook?
Because I'm going to do this thing called keeping my job. It seems to make my kids happy. They don't have to eat rocks at night. All right. Where do we? Oh, from the voices. All right. At the end of the story, voices. What do we discover happened to?
Sam.
Sam. All right, Sam.
Yeah.
Thank you. It's been a long week. So where do we find out happened to Sam at the end of the story? There you go. But throughout the whole story, where was the story taking place? In his. The number one question that kids answered was in a hospital room. But at the very beginning of the story, we talked about the fact that it was not in a hospital room because they showed up and saying like he was dead, referring to the parents, like the paramedics. So this was the correct answer. I didn't know I had a lot of kids with that one. All right, so you guys say easy question, tough question, or we're right at it. And all right, and 52. Half the kids got this one wrong. And that was because a lot of people put the whole thing was happening in a hospital room. I'm guessing 8, which the following is not an example of foreshadowing in the story. Wait, what's foreshadowing again? That was the there you go. There you go. Predict the end. Good teamwork. So one of these is not a predicting thing to the end. It is just a random thing. Correct. Even though sending him to the nurse, you would think it connects to the nurse at the end. It was not. It was just a random thing that happened in the story. All right. Easy question. Tough question. Are we right on it? And right on it? All right. Wow. Yeah, it's a little bit tougher on that one then. All right. Same way, except in the dream, his family was in a horrible car wreck and it felt very real.
Wait, no. Yeah. I wasn't.
Because it's at the very beginning, so it can't be resolution. Internal conflict is a decision. All right. Foreshadowing?
Yeah.
I would agree. All right. So now are we, ooh, you feel strongly about that one. Are we good on Fort? And which way are you going? Okay, are you going sideways, Max? Your hand is just like right there in the front of the screen. All right. And 56%. Apparently we bombed this question. This is one of our horrible ones.
Well, I get it correct.
Go you. Apparently, so you're saying you guys need to take more quizzes in the room because being home, brain not so good.
I got 28.
Because when you're at home, it makes you.
I guess
some when you're here, you can just scream at us.
Ooh, that's gonna happen today. We're gonna have a fun game. Point of view for this was definitely a tough one because it required you guys to read closely, and so that definitely makes things a little bit tough on that one. But this is the one where it's being told where he says, I was also tortured by Monk. I had issues. So that would make it.
Yes.
Yeah. So it becomes first person. I mean, as you went through it, to be third limited, it definitely doesn't follow Priscilla. Third omniscient still never follows Priscilla. That brings you down to first person. Was it first person following Priscilla? So I tried to make it, if you actually looked at the answers, most of them didn't even make sense. You're like, well, no, it never even, like, she doesn't even show up until like the last part of the story. So any of the ones that had Priscilla, you should be able to remove, which would be all of them except for one. But did we do well on this one? Let's go with down that whole 50% area. And again, I tried to make it easy by putting Priscilla in there and it couldn't be her. What's up?
So what's the story behind the which one? Who's one? Doesn't each of the clearly wrong guesses have a story behind it?
This is Captain Moose. It just all connects together. I was having fun doing Captain Moose. Moose cells, muscles, is that the super villain has to fight? Moose souls. I was having fun. It was fun. Let's see. Which of these statements should not be? Ooh, one of these is not a plot point because it's a character description. Nicely done. Monk is a bully who runs the school. That is a character description because you were simply describing about that character. All right. Is that easy? Not. Wow. Apparently. By the way, so for those of you who are all saying not easy, before I show you the percentage, why was that not easy?
It's not us, it's everyone else.
It's my idea, because for me writing it, my idea was that I tried to give you one that had been straight from us doing a character description. I wasn't trying to be tricky. Yeah? So you're seeing it as like an action as opposed to a description?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it's actually a plot point because the whole story is revolving.
Oh, I called it.
Yeah, this was the one that the lowest scored one for everybody. It was the 33%. So this was the one that like 1 out of every 3 kids got correct. There we go. Yeah, sorry, it's gone now. The following at the very end of the story, what happens to Monk? Shoved into a locker. But that's only part of it, because then they leave, and what do we discover happens? There you go. So at the very end, what's the important thing to know?
It was a blizzard. Winter.
Yeah.
It was winter.
The fact that it never even takes place on a street, daytime is during school, cafeteria doesn't even really happen. This was the most common put answer, cafeteria. I'm like, I just randomly put that down because I was hungry when I wrote the quiz. I didn't even get why kids chose that one. And, oh, so easy, tough, right on. And one of the highly missed questions again. 13. Which of these descriptions is which one of these descriptions is wrong and does not even match what happened in the story?
Yeah.
Priscilla.
Why is Priscilla's wrong?
She's tall.
Because she's
small.
giant.
Yeah.
She mentioned her being gigantic and tough and not small and quiet. So again, I thought that would be an easy question. Do you guys think that was an easy question?
Yeah.
So are you going with? All right. Are you guys thinking it's easy? All right. What did you say? So well, we did not bad on that one. So go you guys, at least above the 80%. And then best example of irony in the story. We never talked about this because you had to read it on your own. Why do you say it's the first one?
He's like a bully and a leader.
Nicely done. So on that one, I was hoping you guys, I was hoping I put enough information there to help you out. So I figured the other one, I sort of put random stuff and just hoping that you guys be like, oh, this is the only one that even sounds like irony. Yeah.
But the second one is it's also irony because like the bully does stuff like that.
And then gets put into it. I can agree. It's not as good of an answer. We have all the other ones out there, so it's probably the second best one. And then easy one, not easy. 2%. So you're going with 78%. You're almost there. You're only 16% off. Numbers are hard. And then is not true between the voices and Priscilla and the Wimps. So one of these did not happen in those two stories.
Wait, give me a second. Yeah. There's no teacher in
They both involve a school, correct?
What's the second one? The first one.
No, it's not that one.
No, there's no teacher. Try to help the boy.
It's not
No,
true. It's not true.
No, because the nurse is a female.
Correct.
I was.
The female character, the nurse, was the person that was trying to help him, so the nurse is the one that's trying. But there is no teacher that shows up in the one about Priscilla. So on this one, easy, not easy, and then that was again one of our tougher ones. Part of it was for me was an enjoyment sort of seeing whether you guys thought the questions were hard or not. Because as I write the quiz, I don't try to stump you. My goal is if you pay attention, I try to make it fairly easy on you. And so I try not to make them overly awful. So we'll see what happens. All right. Moving on from there. Oh, for those of you who have not turned in quiz, you can turn it in and get up to a 22 out of 30. Realize I'm recording this, so you can just go watch the YouTube video to make things easier. If you have turned in your quiz, but you got lower than a 22, you can again go resubmit it, and then you can get a higher grade, and that's fine with me. My goal is if you want to get a C, you can at least get a C on this by submitting it and going from there. Then, home children, here's where you're going to get that thing you just printed off. And I'm going to give copies to the kids who are here. So one moment. Yours is probably white. I just have a yellow one here. Your guys' will also be white. The first thing you should do with this piece of paper is, as soon as you get it,
Put your name on it.
nicely done. Welcome. And crumple it into a small ball, and you'll be prepared to buy a new one coming up on Wednesday. Yes, good job. You're so welcome. No, we're getting closer. You're going to get a chance to use this to prevent me from yelling at you. And I'm not yelling at you. That's not how the game is played. I mean, let me back up. I'm not yelling at you any more than I normally yell at you. There's just a different aspect of the game that's going to involve anxiety, freaking out, and for some of you screaming. Jerry L. Yeah, go for it. That's fine. All right. Then back to you people. So on screen in front of you, those of you who are at home who already seem to be paying attention and doing a good job, go you. Those of you who are here, you will see a cup of paper where it says simile definition and metaphor definition. It has simile definition and metaphor definition. So you can copy those down now to make your life a little bit easier. For those of you who are at home, let's do a quick video check. So I get to see which kids I get to be mean to. There's 4, 3, and 2, and 1, and 0. And apparently I get to be mean to Antoinette and Henry. If they don't show up, I'll then have to remove them for fear that they're zombies. And so, oh, Henry's alive now. Antoinette, I'm getting ready to remove you. Bummer. And Antoinette. And, oh, you just made it as I got ready to hit the button. You're alive. Oh, you give me that look. All right. All right, back to here. So these notes that you are writing down now, this is what you get to cheat off of whenever we have 1, the activity in a moment. 2, whenever we have quizzes and stuff like that, you get to look off of this to make your life a little bit better. Definition of a simile. This is where we are going to compare 2 nouns by using the words like or as. Comparing 2 nouns using like or as. Okay. Antoinette, you should have put that into the thing and then I would have known. I checked chat ahead of time so I could be nice to you. I was like, it's unlike you. Like I've never had to torture Antoinette before. I was surprised. It's like day for me. But anyway, as an example, we go with Antoinette's hair is adorable like Mickey Mouse. That would be an example of a simile where I'm comparing hair to Mickey Mouse in some way. So you're comparing, to each their own opinion. Let's see. Your hair is as ugly as a dead gerbil. And so not you, Antoinette, but like my hair, something like that. And so, or, ooh, PJ's hair is like a porcupine sitting on his head. Where I'm comparing, really I'm on a hair kick right now, where you're comparing 2 things by saying like or as. The kid trying to play Among Us during class is as dumb as a dead rock. So comparing a kid to a rock. Mr. Brovia, rocks can't be dead. Oh, give me 5 minutes with a rock. I wish it was dead. So that would give you an idea from that one too. Oh, look at me, sassing the child who's just staring at me. So that would be an example of how similes work. Comparing 2 nouns using like or as. Are we struggling with the pencil sharpener? If it helps, there's a second pencil sharpener on my desk. It's just, it works better. It just requires you to read the directions because it's a tougher one. It's like the advanced pencil sharpener, but it's super effective. All right. Then for metaphor is where you compare 2 nouns by saying one noun is the other noun. So again, metaphor, comparing 2 nouns by saying one noun is the other noun. As in, your head is a drum because it is empty. I'm saying one thing, your head is a drum. So I'm comparing your head to a drum. Your hair is an electrified squirrel because it's sticking up in different directions. And apparently it likes acorns. I don't know. Are you trying to cheat off of me? Your head is a drum because they're both empty. You're not writing. All you're writing is the definitions. That's all you're writing. Oh, you mean the part where it says you have to create your own 2 examples right there in large words? Yes, my silly chillins. So then the part on, we were confused here about the part where it says examples on there because they had not read the giant words on the screen that said you have to create your own examples. They thought they could just cheat off of me, kids nowadays. So now what you're going to do in that spot that says examples is you're going to create your own two examples of a simile and your own two examples of a metaphor. Mr. Broviak, I don't know what I'm doing. I wasn't paying attention. I know. It actually says that too. I know you have no idea what you're doing. The worst that happens is you screw it up because you're going to be reading your example out loud and we're going to get a chance to judge you. Well, Mr. Broviak, that's horrible. I know. That's part of what we're going to get to in a moment. And it's going to freak kids out and bring us all kinds of joy. If you've messed it up, that's okay. I'm ready for you to mess it up. And if you're a kid at home, this is where I'm picking on you also. Today is a kid at home and a kid in class day. I'm picking on everybody. It's going to be all kinds of wonderful fun. What I'm doing right now is called stalling to buy you time to write down your similes and metaphors. This is my way of trying to be nice to you because that screen is going to disappear in a moment and we're going to write down a couple more notes and then we're going to move forward. All right, and what are we freaking out about? You don't even know what you're freaking out about? Well, don't worry. Especially that part we're going to get to in a moment. It's going to get so much worse. This is the easy part. She doesn't know. Oh,
Definition?
no. If you have trouble writing a metaphor, which is legit, a lot of people have trouble writing metaphors. Here's my way to help you with a metaphor. Come up with a simile and remove the like or as. So instead of saying your hair is like a dead pumpkin, remove the like. Your hair is a dead pumpkin. Now you have a metaphor. So in your head, write a simile, remove the like or as, and it becomes a metaphor. You don't have to, just make sure there's a reason. Delaney has a good question. Do you have to explain why in there? No, but we're gonna have to figure it out when you tell it to us. So if Delaney's example is, my foot is a desk in the classroom, I'll go, ooh, that's a metaphor. She'll go, I know. I'll go, why are you comparing your foot to a desk? And she'll go, what now? And I'll go, why did you compare your foot to a desk? She'll go, I have no idea. I just saw two random things. Then I get to make fun of you again. So make sure you have a reason for why you're comparing these things, not just looking around the room and saying two objects. The spider is a closet. Good job. You just saw two objects. I'm so proud of you. But you have to have a reason for why you're, what they have in common is, I saw them in your room. No, that's not how it works. You're gonna have to actually come up with a reason. All right, Jeriel. This is my room right here. That's a closet. All right, now to help you out again, to stall for a few more moments, we're gonna write down these three little arrowy things. If you see on your sheet, it's got a spot that says arrow point 1, arrow point 2, arrow point 3, and then you look at screen, it has on there arrow points. So we're going to write down those things on those arrow points. These are the #1 ways kids mess up similes and metaphors. So write them down so you don't become the kids that mess up the same thing. 1, you have to be comparing two nouns. If they're not nouns, it does not work. So it's right below where it has examples. It says arrow point 1, arrow point 2, arrow point 3. That's an arrow.
Oh,
Thank you for translating for me.
I thought it had an arrow point.
No, it just says the words arrow point. So you cannot compare a noun to a verb or a noun to an adjective. And someone's going to do that in a moment. You're going to go, the dog is ugly. Not nailed it. You did it. You can't compare dog to ugly because ugly is an adjective. The boy ran quickly. Nope, you're not comparing two nouns. You have to know what nouns are for the person, place, or thing. Next up, the two nouns you compare cannot be the same thing. So you cannot compare a noun to itself. As an example, you cannot compare a whale to a fish. You can't go, I looked in the ocean and the whale swam like a giant fish. You're comparing a whale to a fish. They're the same thing. No, Mr. Broviak, whales are mammals. I'm an English teacher. As long as you can eat them, they're fish, and they're both delicious. You have to make sure you're comparing, like, instead, compare the whale swam like a big blue submarine. Perfect. A whale can't be a submarine. You're comparing different things. Another example I've had, you cannot compare the floor to the ground. When I was running down the hallway and tripped and hit the ground, it was as hard as a floor. Again, actual examples kids have given me. I'm like, the floor is the ground. They're like, no, they're not. They're spelled different. I'm like, oh God, child. I'm like, that does not make them different things. This strawberry tastes like fruit. No boo-boo, that's not. So again, you have to compare them to different things. I see. And then again, you can't compare me, because a lot of kids will work me into theirs, which is fine, but you can't compare me to something I am. Mr. Broviak is like a big, tall man. I am a man. Are you sure? Yes, I'm sure. And so you have to compare me to something I'm not. You can't compare me to a teacher. Now, you could compare me to a clown. That'd be fine. You are, ouch, that hurts. So again, you have to compare me to something I'm not. And I am technically a teacher. Maybe not the best one, going off of those quizzes, but technically that's what the government thinks I do. Blaze. That brings you happiness, boo.
Oh my gosh.
And then the last one, this is what makes it a globetrotter one. You cannot use the word looks in a good simile or metaphor because it makes it all weak. So don't do that dog looks like an angry lion. It just makes it weak and makes me grumpy. If you do that, sorry, remove the word looks and just put like a verb in there. That dog barks like an angry lion. Perfect. The dog is like an angry lion. That's great. The dog runs like an perfect. Just don't use the word looks. It's just weak. I still see you. It's called ignoring you. The dog is like an angry lion. Works much better. Blaze. Yep. Just not the word looks. Then you're good to go. All right. Not yet. Trust me, I'm eager to get rid of you also. There. I'm going to take about 3 minutes and we're going to take a break before we get to torture you. Because in a moment, we're going to get to the fun torturing part of the game. But I want to take a 3-minute break to have you guys stand up, stretch, move, and all that. And then we're going to get to torturing bits. If you've not written your similes and metaphors, you're welcome to. If you prefer to stand, you can stand. All right. Those of you at home, we're going to take a quick standy break before I get to torture kids. So you get to hang on for a moment.
No. And I just put something. But it has to be a thing.
I have not yet. I just got it last year. And so I've been hanging it up on, and the kid who gave it to me moved over to Fall Creek. So I should take it home. I just like it hanging up there. It makes me smile. Normally, in a normal year, yes. But this year, since I wear like the same tie for both Monday, Tuesday, and then the same thing for Thursday, Friday, there's no theme. But yeah, normally I'd be wearing like a big long line of Halloween ties and stuff like that. You just juke her. I felt like you juked her on that one. Because kids don't see me every day. If they don't see me every day, it doesn't work.
The floor is the ground. The ground to the floor.
I'm making it last for 1 week, make it last for 2 weeks.
You have a lot of faith.
Mine's 24.
Could be.
Oh, they're on bleachers. I'm on bleachers, that's why.
No, I'm not in that picture. I was sick that night.
Why did you just
Because I coached there. I'm in all the other pictures. Weird flex. Have a seat.
Like you. I was born in 1988. I've gotten held back 40 years.
Wait. I'm so 12. I'm so young.
Totally. Nice.
Wait a minute. What's the torture part again?
Here we go.
I am?
So here's how this next part works. We're going to introduce you to something that is called impact learning. Impact learning is where your ability to learn impacts everybody else in the room. Zachary, that was very cool. Thank you for showing it to me. All right. So as an example, we're going to go ahead and we'll pick up. Sure. Lily has volunteered to begin, and Finley is going to go second. It's very brave of you. I'm proud of you. Lily, luckily you have the easy part. Finley has the tougher part. But don't worry, she'll didn't get to go the easy round for the next one. Lily is going to read either one of her similes or one of her metaphors, her choice. Finley has to figure out if she's reading a simile, a metaphor, or none of the above, because there's every chance Lily completely mess it up. And maybe Lily's version of a simile is, I like tacos. That is not a simile, it is none of the above. So Finley, you're gonna tell me a simile, metaphor, none of the above. Then, what two nouns are being compared? Then, why are we comparing those two things together? So she says, Mr. Broviak is a clown. You go metaphor, Mr. Broviak, clown, and then be like, because they both entertain children, or whatever it might be, or they're both scary coming out of sewers. Whatever works best for you. So for the comparing on the why, it's gonna be up to you to figure it out. Mr. Broviak, how does that impact us? Well, let's say she reads Mr. Broviak likes children, and you go simile. Is that the right answer? No, because that's not an example of a simile. So when you give the wrong answer, it impacts everybody in the room. So if you don't want that to happen, as soon as you hear them say a wrong answer, you have to cover your ears. But as soon as you cover your ears, I call on you to answer instead. So it means as soon as you cover your ears, you are choosing to answer for them. We'll see how well we do. Let's do one to find out. Lily, hopefully I bought you enough time to pick one of your answers. Home children, don't worry, we're going to be integrating you into this also. You're also going to be playing. The joy for you is you can adjust your volume a little bit, but if you go down too quiet, you're not going to hear me call on you, and then I get to charge you points. So you have to keep your volume loud enough to be able to hear me. And so it's going to be all kinds of fun. I wish you the best of luck. This is how we're going to be able to introduce anxiety and fear into teaching, because apparently you guys were doing easy mode. We'll find out. Lily, what's your first one? Your head is an egg. Simile, metaphor, or none of the above? Metaphor. Then after she answers, I look around to see if as long as you guys all agree, we're good to go. All right, I agree, it's a metaphor. What two nouns are being compared? Your head is an egg. Good job. Why are we comparing head to egg? Correct, but why? We got that one. Yeah. Now don't you sass me, child. You have to use your imagination, figure out why is she comparing someone's head to an egg. Is it because you can smash it on a skillet? Is it because it came out the backside of a chicken? Have you ever seen an egg? All right. Have you ever seen a person without hair? Hey, good job, Finley. Now, I have no idea if that's what she was going for, but you could have anything. You could have said because it's covered in feathers, and as long as it would make sense and you're good to go. Now, here's the fun part, Finley. You're going to now read yours to Leah, but you cannot read the same thing that was read to you. So if she read a simile, you do a metaphor. If she read a metaphor, you have to read a simile. You with me? You just have to read whatever you want. It just has to be the opposite of what was read to you. Okay.
Ready?
Now hang on. And then after this one, so Leah is going to be reading to one of you guys, just so you're aware to keep you in the loop. You guys just got like a little easy version. All right, go for it, Finley.
His face is as red as
His face is as red as
a tomato.
a tomato. Hang on, is that a simile, a metaphor, or none of the above? Simile. Okay, we all agree with you. Hang on. Now tell me what two nouns are being compared. His face is as red as a tomato. Good job again. Hang on. Why are we comparing the face to a tomato? Well, we got that looks like a tomato part. It's the red part that was important. Nice one. All right. Well, apparently we made that easy, Celia. All right, Celia, let's have you read yours for Max. So Max, she'll read it. I will be repeating it to you, and you're going to break down little bits of it. And then you're also going to go, I'm sorry, Mr. Broviak, because I did not unmute myself, and you had to charge me a point. That's a good game, Max. Did you just turn that was turning your camera off, Max. All right, there you go. Such a struggle. All right, Celia, go for it. Don't read what was read to you. I'm going to simplify it a little bit. The cheetah is a fast speedboat. Simile, metaphor, or nothing, Max?
Metaphor?
Are you asking me? Confidence
Metaphor.
is correct. Good job. Comparing what two nouns? The cheetah
A speedboat and a cheetah.
Good job. And what do they have in common? They're both?
It's fast.
Oh, good job. Apparently you're on fire there. Go you. All right, Max. Let's have you read yours for Ellie.
Your hands are as big as a tennis racket.
Your hands are as big as a tennis racket.
Simile?
Are you asking me?
No. Simile.
Okay, what's your answer? All right, good job. Comparing what two nouns?
Can you say it again?
Your hands are as big as a tennis racket.
Hand and tennis racket?
Good. And what do they have in common? They're both?
They're both as big.
Works for me. Nicely done. All right, Snyder, let's have you read yours for Graham.
Dance and cheer are the same.
Dance and cheer are the same. Metaphor. Are you okay? Hang on 1 second. We're having. You're saying you don't. She said dance and cheer are the same. You don't think it's anything? All right. Well, Nina says it's nothing. But it's up to you. You get to answer. We're discussing whether we think it's nothing at all or a metaphor. And Graham's now doubting things. So hang on.
I know exactly what it is, but I just want to hear the snap.
We'll find out.
Oh, it is nothing.
You sure?
Yes.
I agree. Good job. That is nothing. That was so close. I was excited. That is not an example of a metaphor or a simile. It is just a random statement. Oh, Ellie, that was so close. That was a good test. I got excited for a moment. All right, Graham, Lily's upset that she only got to read hers, but didn't actually get to decide anyone else's. So to make the full circle complete for this round, I'll have you go ahead and read yours for Lily, so she doesn't get left out. Now, the joy is, since she read nothing to you, you get your option of anything. Simile, metaphor, or none of the above.
Your head is a drum.
That's the one I read.
Oh.
We're struggling. One moment. We had a small cheating issue.
Your head is a brick.
Your head is a brick. He did not write that on the spur of the moment. He definitely spent a long time and effort onto that one. Not Graham, sorry. I was so excited how good that was. Lily. Are you asking me? What's the answer? Metaphor. Okay. Comparing what two nouns? And what do they have in common? They're heavy. Works for me. And apparently we can build a house with them. I'm sure Graham put a lot of thought into that particular metaphor. It seemed to me genius level. All right, don't worry, we're not done with impact learning. We're going to come back to it in a moment. We're going to take a little time out so kids in here can breathe, because it looks like 3 of them have been holding their breath this whole time. So we're going to give them a chance to inhale, and then we're going to come back to it. Here's what the bad news is. I'm going to give you homework. The good news is this is not math style homework. It's easy homework. So what you're going to do is, if you look on paper, the paper that you guys got from me, look at the bottom where it says big picture. See those lines down there? That's your homework, those 6 lines. Mr. Broviak, yes, 6. Good God, Delaney. Mr. Broviak, 6. I'm never going to survive. So with the 6 lines that you're making me sassy about, go to my, not now, but for the homework, here's how you get to it. It tells you right on there, but go to today's page, and there's a button that says big picture. That's where you're going to find the homework. When you click on big picture, it takes you to a file that looks like this. Here's what you're going to do for the homework. It's got a bunch of pictures on there. You get to choose 1 picture, and you're going to write 3 similes and 3 metaphors about that picture. Anything you want in the picture, but they're all about the same picture. You're going to write down the picture number, and then you're going to figure out, like, let's say you pick, I don't know, these 2 street goblins. So if you pick these 2 street goblins that you want to write about, you'd write down picture number 2, and then you could write about anything in there. Her hat is pink bubblegum. That could be your metaphor. The bucket is like an orange on a tree. There's your simile. And you would just go through and write 3 similes, 3 metaphors. That's it. That's all I'm having you do for this. You don't have to turn it in. All you're doing is leaving it on here, and then you're going to show it to me on Wednesday. Those of you who are here in person, you're going to physically show it to me. Those of you who are at home, you're going to physically hold it up to the screen so that I can see it, and I'm going to grade it that way. So one way or the other, either in person or virtually, I will grade you guys on Wednesday. That's all I'm having you do for this homework. All right. Delaney, how many lines is it? Just wanted to make sure I could torture you again. All right. Now, we've taken a breath. You know what the homework is. Let's go back to torturing kids again. All right. So here's how the next round's going to work. Now that you guys feel a little bit stronger, I'm going to give you slightly more challenging similes and metaphors. So the same thing we just did, but now let's, sure, Mina, you can volunteer to go first. That's fine with me because you felt brave and I'm very proud of you. So now, oh wait, before Mina gets to go, you guys know what this is?
Mime.
All right, because I'm going to use that in an example in just a moment. And I realize some kids don't know what a mime is.
Who's that thing?
They're the ones with the big white face. They're like trapped into a wall. That's a mime. These sardines. And again, I'm making reference to sardines. And I realize if you've never seen sardines, I've only ever seen pictures of sardines, but they're like fish in a can. So that's what sardines are. All right, now back to Mina. So here's what's going to happen. Mina's going to do the first line up there where it says that silly clown has hair like a rainbow. You are then going to tell me simile, metaphor, or neither, 2 nouns being compared, and then why. And I get to pick on a different kid after that. And then again, if she's wrong, impact learning. You ready, Mina? Good, me too. Mina, that silly clown has hair like a rainbow. Simile. I agree. Comparing what? 2 nouns? So what are your 2 nouns again? You said what? Silly clown, hair like rainbow, correct?
I knew it.
2 nouns means you can only say 2 words. Anything that's not a noun is not a noun. Nina, let's try again. What are the 2 nouns that are being compared? Nicely done. Clown and hair?
No, wait.
Yes. Also incorrect. We are not comparing the clown to hair. We're comparing the clown to a rainbow. Clown to rainbow, correct?
No.
Well, if you say no,
No.
you don't yell no. That makes me charge you a point. Kate, you're covering your ears. That means you think she's wrong.
Also blazes.
Yeah, but I'm ignoring him because he yelled at me. Kate was being nice to me. Kate, what do you say it is instead? Oh, you can't be nervous. It makes me make fun of a child. No one wants. You don't raise your hands. You cover your ears. Oh, Jerry L.
The hair and rainbow.
Finally.
So you're saying hair and rainbow. You can't cover your ears, Mina. You're the one answering. So Mina, you get your choice. He says it's hair and rainbow, but you get your decision on what you want it to be. So you get to say the words yourself.
Oh, here and
I agree. Good job. You're almost done, Mina. Hang on.
rainbow.
Why are we comparing the clown's hair to rainbows? Is it because they both come after a rain? Is it because there's gold underneath of them? You can't help her cheat. Have faith in her.
Because they're both colorful.
Good teamwork on that one. Nicely done. All right. Apparently we struggled here live version, so we're going to throw it to you home version kids on the next one. All right, Zachary. Now, this one says his nose is a large red tomato. All right, Zachary, you ready? Simile metaphor. You can't already say he's wrong, Celia. You have to give him a chance to answer. Good God. He made he's gonna get it right. All right, sorry, Zachary. What did you say it was?
Metaphor.
Metaphor. His nose is a large red tomato. I agree. Good job. What two nouns are being compared?
A nose and a tomato.
Are you? All right. Why are you covering your ears, Blaze?
It's not a orange and a red. It's nose and a red.
Yeah, you're just trying to lose points.
I don't know.
Really? Because you can only count to two. So nose and. There you go. Silly Blaze, counting is hard. And then, Zachary, why are we comparing the nose to a tomato? Zachary, that's you.
Wait,
And
what'd you say?
why are we comparing the nose to a tomato?
Because
What
the
do they have in
nose.
common?
Wait,
What are
what?
we
Sorry?
trying to? What are we saying about the nose?
It's large and red like a tomato.
Good job. You don't have to put the like a tomato part, just the part that is large and red. Whew. Oh, struggle. Good job, Zachary. Now you can go back to hiding. You got it correct. Even though Celia tried to call him a liar before he even had a chance to begin. But we'll get there. All right. Now, I have the next one, but I've not put it up there yet because the next one goes tough, then it goes easy again. So I'm going to give people a chance to volunteer for the tough one. I don't have to just randomly pick it. There you go. All right, Kasopa, you ready? You are not a big dum-dum. It's okay. I didn't even have to slap it. You didn't know dum-dum at all. All right, ready, Kasopa? All right. Oh, sorry. I had to click it to let Tristan in. Let's try this again. And there we go. The man's feet are long yellow bananas. Metaphor. So Mina says no, no, no. But do you have a reason behind it, or are you just singing at me? Okay. She says it's neither. But Kasopa, you get to make your choice. Metaphor? Are you saying also not a metaphor? You're saying what? It's correct. It is metaphor. Nicely done. Metaphors don't have to use is, plus are is just the plural version of is. So it's the same thing. So you just cannot use like or as. Kasopa, you're not done. What two nouns are being compared? Bananas. Good job again. Why are we comparing the feet to bananas? Apparently he has creepy yellow feet. Apparently he needs to be healthy again. Nicely done.
He's
I was
from,
gonna say they're both walk.
he's
But
from
that's,
Simpson.
I would also accept that one too.
He's from Simpson.
There you go. The sideshow Bob. Nicely done on that one. All right, and then do we have a volunteer for the next one? Do I get to pick? Oh, apparently we do. All right, Jerry L. Don't worry, PJ. I saw your bravery. I'm coming to you for the next one. All right, Jerry L. His elbows are very large. You're saying it's nothing? At all.
I disagree.
That's what you're going with?
I disagree. No, but it's not comparing, it's not either, because it's not comparing anything to this.
He says neither.
Oh, no, it is, it's nothing.
He's correct. It is nothing.
Yeah.
Because it is comparing elbows to large, and large is an adjective. Way to be strong, Jerry. I was seeing if I could get you to back down, and you did not. Other kids did, but you stayed strong. All right, PJ, are you still feeling brave?
Yes.
All right, here we go. The mime's face is pale, eerie white snow. This goes back to the picture I showed you, so now you know what a mime's face looks like. All right, PJ?
Metaphor.
Metaphor?
Yeah.
Okay, we seem to agree with you. We just had some face petting to creep me out. All right, then comparing what to nouns? Her face was so soft.
Face.
She said to pet it for a second. Remind herself. What?
Face to snow.
Face and snow?
No. Wait.
Hang on. We're freaking out for a second. Give us a second. I would agree. You're correct. Face and snow. Why are we comparing the mime's face to snow?
Pale, eerie, and white.
Works for me. Go you. Nicely done. Good job, PJ. All right, then we get to go to our next one from there. And all right, Kate. I've seen the kids from there. You ready? Me too. The funny clown is surrounded by animals everywhere. Funny clown is surrounded by animals everywhere. I need confidence from you. She says neither. And I agree. Good job. It is neither. It is just making a statement, not comparing anything. Well done. I thought I'd get you to back down on that one. All right. So let's go with kid at home. I need a home kid to volunteer. If not, I'm going to randomly pick one of you. Owen, it is. Owen, you saved the other kids. Nicely done. All right, Owen. There you go. All right. And we have the evil teacher likes strawberry mint ice cream. The evil teacher likes
I think it's
strawberry mint.
nothing.
Wow, with authority, he says nothing. Did you see the fact it does use the word like? You did see that, correct?
Mm-hmm.
All right. And you're still saying nothing?
Mm-hmm.
All right. And good job. I thought someone would buckle on that one. Go you. You were correct. That was nothing. I thought I could mess you up. Good job, Owen. Well, trust me, it'll get tougher. We'll get there. Ow, pick on poor Nina like that. All right, let's pick on Jermaine then. Welcome back, Antoinette. All right, Jermaine. These people are like sardines packed into that tiny vehicle. Did you say what? Simile? We have simile. Oh, apparently, you guys are getting good at this. All right. Wait, comparing what to nouns? Okay, packed and tiny? Packed. Apparently, Finley disagrees. All right. What are you saying? If you're covering your ears and saying he's wrong, that means you have an answer.
Yeah.
Okay.
People and sardines.
She says people and sardines.
Wait, give me a second.
But wait, give her a second. Hang on, we're arguing with each other. Just give us one moment. Hello? I mean, I do know, but that's not fun.
A sardine could be a vehicle.
No,
No,
could be a transformer, you never know.
It goes back to Jermaine then. Jermaine, what's your final answer? Are the two nouns being compared? You said what? Packed and tiny?
No, I got it. No, no.
I got it. You had it right the first time.
So you're correct. People is one of them. What are we comparing the people to?
Sardines.
Yeah,
That was right.
yeah, comparing the people to sardines. You just weren't confident. Where is your confidence? Comparing people to sardines. Why are we comparing the people to sardines? Hang on.
Come into the car.
Jermaine is the one that gets to make the decision. Jermaine? You remember the sardines from the picture at the beginning? And how they look?
Sardines are vehicles.
Why are we comparing the people in the car to sardines in the can? Oh, good job, Jermaine. It sounds so simple. Go you. Antoinette, since you did, oh, you got lucky, Antoinette. The bell just rang. I was getting ready to torture you. I'm not going to forget. We're going to come back to you on Wednesday. Homework is due on Wednesday. We're going to get to more torturing on Wednesday. I'm not going to forget to torture Antoinette on Wednesday. And then don't you give me big flary eyes. All right. Other than that, enjoy. See you guys later. I mean, except for you guys. You guys have to stay here. You guys get to run away. All right.
Mr. Broviak.